Hello and welcome to this second module on the history and structure of the modern oil and gas industry. In this module, we'll take a look at 5 key areas. First, we'll look at the history of oil and gas. Here we'll look at the history pre-1859. We'll then move on to look at what happened in 1859 that led to an international search for petroleum and the beginnings of an oil and gas industry. And we'll also gain an understanding of the industry in the 1900s. Next, we'll look at the top global oil locations. Here we'll focus on the world's top 10 countries in terms of oil reserves. We'll also recognize that most of these countries are in the Middle East. Our third area is OPEC. Here we'll learn about the beginnings of OPEC, its prominence during the 1970s, and begin to understand OPEC's aims. Our fourth area is major companies in the oil and gas industry. In this section, we'll look at 3 categories and provide examples for international oil companies, national oil companies, and oil field service companies. And our fifth area is the energy value chain. Here we'll step back and take a look at the bigger picture. We'll recognize the 3 sectors upstream, midstream, and downstream, and how all of these make up the energy value chain. Crude oil has been known and used by man for thousands of years. The first oil well is said to have been dug in the city of Shush in southern Iran in about 500 BC, and the Chinese are believed to have drilled for oil and gas with bamboo tubes and bronze drill bits as early as the 3rd century BC. Perhaps the most important oil well ever drilled was in the middle of a quiet farm in northwestern Pennsylvania in 1859. This was by Edwin Drake and James Townsend. Whilst drilling for water, a drill bit struck a pressurized pocket of oil, and this created an international search for petroleum and the beginnings of an oil and gas industry. Only a few years after Drake's well, the first major oil company, Standard Oil, was founded in the United States by John D. Rockefeller in 1863. Standard Oil had such a monopoly on the oil and gas industry that in 1892 it was forced to split into 7 parts. These have become known as the Seven Sisters. The Seven Sisters that eventually dominated the world oil and gas industry from the 1940s all the way through to the 1970s.